of course, totally coincidentally, I know, I always have a tinfoil hat on, just in case. I put my huevos in a Faraday cage at all times, just in case an EMP were to go off somewhere near my crotch. But in any case, I don't know if anybody's watching. It says zero people. So I don't know if anybody's here. This thing's always funny. It has a weird way of kind of like nobody's watching, and then all of a sudden it says some people are watching. So I'm just gonna plod forward, and hopefully there are people out there. If anybody's watching, say something in the comments, because I feel like I might have messed something up. But anyway, let me just keep going and see how it goes. But the Nasdaq, the central question is, oh, the great Naughty Lurker's here. Thank God Jesse's here. Okay, guys, we're here. I don't know why it just has this big delay, and I think nobody's here. But I guess, guys, the central thing is, of course, if you've been in the right stocks, SoFi to like a lesser extent, but these stocks like Palantir, Robinhood, some of these stocks have just been absolute runners. But some that are easy to overlook are today, like Broadcom ran 10%. Look at a stock like JP Morgan. I mean, I remember that stock was just, at $150 not that long ago. And then, even a stock like Bank of America was 30, now it's 50, like JP Morgan's 310 or 315, something like that. I mean, all the Magnificent Seven stocks have run up. It's just the runs like a stock like Facebook had, even Netflix. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of wealth that's been generated. But when you start to look at the actual multiples, historically, I mean, the market is overbought. Now, the bullish argument for continuation of, this sort of never-ending rally that's kind of, taken fire for the last few years after the, big COVID drop, but it was really kind of before that. I mean, this rally sort of has its start in 2020, and then you can go all the way back to the dot-com bubble. I mean, people forget. I mean, I lived through this. I don't know how old you turds are, but this was NASDAQ 5,000, and then all of a sudden the bubble burst, and it was, NASDAQ, 1,100 and NASDAQ 1,000. And then 10 years later, it was NASDAQ 1,300 again. Like, it just, if you look at stocks, like if you were in stocks at this time, like Microsoft and Google, they were just going nowhere for years and years and years. So people that have only been in the market a little bit less time, crypto folk, and you guys are frankly used to these markets that are just multiplying and creating wealth. And the argument would be, well, AI is going to unlock wealth similar or even, exponentially more powerfully than, the dot-com era did with the internet. And the problem is, and that's probably true, I mean, AI might be more consequential, probably no might be around, it will be ultimately more consequential than sort of the internet was or is. It's just really hard to say because I'm not really smart enough to understand AI. But if you look at the NASDAQ, historically, it's just extremely overbought. It's almost as high as it ever. There's like 4 or 5 different ratios people look at. And I was listening to some expert go over those earlier today. And they're either at all-time highs or very, very close to all-time highs. All the ratios they watch for, like, earnings, it doesn't matter what it is, sales, earnings, international, domestic, it's all overbought. And then you just have wild cards in because crypto is brand new. Like, you can't really apply any of those historical multiples to crypto because it's very new on the scene, as they say. And then AI, you could argue that AI is going to bring so much sort of, new innovation, new wealth, new ideas, new companies, new growth, just sort of this groundswell of creation, that it's fair that these multiples keep getting richer and keep going up and up and up. And quite frankly, some of these Magnificent Seven stocks, like I'm looking at Microsoft, I mean, it's actually a growth stock. Most of their segments are growing like 15% year on year. That used to be a high growth stock, 15%. Now people want to see 40%, 80%. I mean, Anthony Noto delivers, but he's a beast. My biological father. As Tracy Morgan once said. But anyway, guys, so I just wanted to jump on because I hadn't been on since that big crash. Like Trump said, okay, we're going to put 100% tariffs on China because China's putting like port fees on our ships and doing all this other shady stuff. I think it comes down more to, he's rankled by the war in Ukraine and, China. I think they would negotiate something on trade, but there's this whole undertone of geopolitical issues with them, supplying arms and the GPS and drone components that they're using to bomb these cities. And you have Melania Trump involved and, talking to Putin and his orphans. And there's just so many levels, so many parties. And, you got Kushner back in the mix over in the Middle East. Of course, great to see the, hostages free in Israel. I guess 20 or 21 were still alive. And I guess they're supposed to return the remains of those that died in captivity. Horrible, horrible stuff. And then Israel is releasing hundreds of prisoners back to, I guess, the West Bank. It's a whole situation. I don't know if it holds. I mean, it's difficult to see what's going to become, what's going to happen in Gaza without some major like reconstruction, because I guess they're saying it's going to rush in, humanitarian assistance because obviously there's like famine. People are just dying of starvation right and left. But no easy solution to that one, I guess. There was. They would have done it already. But I'm not here to solve Middle East peace. I'm here to blabber on like a big fat monkey about stocks, like a big fat jerk. What's going on? The great Freddie Lafitte is here and his band with the beat. He's playing the Mayberry. He's playing the Mayberry Bandstand. 2 dates. Very few tickets left. Book it on Eventbrite. Let's see. Yeah, Carl, PayPal looked pretty attractive today. What was it, back down to like 67 or something? Yeah, you feel dirty buying PayPal, but sometimes you just got to do it. You're like, yeah, I don't want to buy it, but it's too cheap and they make money and it's free cash flow. And just, this shit sells itself, as the great Samuel L. Jackson once said. Upstart, Stubby Cohiba special, or I just really don't like Upstart over the long term. I just don't feel that they really have any secret sauce. I don't feel that they're a diversified business. I don't think it's going to stand the test of time. Could it do quite well in the next few years? Absolutely. Because they do have some key, customers or contracts or whatever. So they're worming in, they're weaseling in, they're trying to get to third base. Just trying to go from 6 to midnight, if you know what I mean. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? And I think you do. It just depends, guys. I mean, are you one of those people that's just going to stay, completely invested? Or do you have, 10 or 20% in cash? Do you have a certain amount in crypto? Where do you classify your crypto? Is that like equities in your portfolio? Are you all equities? I mean, I have a lot of my portfolios like real estate. It's equity that I have. It's just, certain amount of my money. So that's kind of distinct. And of course, real estate is prime for a crash. I mean, the only thing I'm hoping for is there's so many, tools and turds and jamokes and jabronis in LA that just have too much money that it's just not going to hit us too hard. That same thing kind of happened, like really hit like Inland Empire, Riverside, but just didn't hit out here at the beach just quite as hard because there was just no inventory. So, the lack of supply and fairly consistent demand just kept prices from falling. Now, we definitely took a hit. So I got some shitbacks rentals. They used to call me old shitbacks rentals. What do I think about Adobe? I mean, I think they had a pretty good ER the last time. I think it surprised a lot of people. They actually, they're actually transitioning as a company away from sort of that stodgy old membership model and sort of modernizing things. I mean, I used to be a big Photoshop user back in the day, but to be honest, I'm no expert on Adobe. I'd have to take a look at it. Definitely don't sub and like us. UK, they started offering mortgages with smaller deposits, higher loan to income ratio. The crash is coming, Car. I mean, it has to come. You have people, you just see it with your own two eyes. You have people working sort of these lower middle class jobs, and now everybody has all this fancy stuff, latest phones, latest cars, kids doing a million things. I just, and you it shows up in the savings. Like most people have absolutely no savings. They're buried in credit card debt. They can't pay their car loans, and the mortgages are next, Carl. that domino is going to fall. And, that's why I look for, that's why I said in the title, you have to be extremely selective. Like, pick stocks with one hand, cover your balls with the other hand, get an ice bag ready, because now is the time to sort of, in my opinion, like, be cognizant of the runs. I mean, if you got in at Palantir at 10 and Palantir, is 190, should you trim? Should you take? In my opinion, yes. I don't own enough to trim. If I trim, there wouldn't be a wee willy whisker left. But, my point is, look at what stocks have done and then look at the reality of how much money they make. I mean, the .com stocks, that you have to realize the market is going to pick winners and losers by how they perform and how the nuance of their business model sort of fits in with how they apply AI. A lot of companies are going to spend a ton of money on AI. They're never going to make a wooden nickel on it, and they're going to go out of business. And that's a fact. Same thing happened with the internet. Everybody set up all this stuff, sort of the glaring examples like pets.com and different, like, why would you want to buy 50-pound bags of dog food through the mail? I guess people do it now. It's chewy, whatever it is. But the point is, some of those companies are going to win big and some of those companies are going to lose big. And some of those companies are going to have a hell of a lot of investor money and then just burn to the ground. The executives are going to be fine. Believe me, they're going to walk away, sitting pretty. But you're going to smell your finger and you're not going to be happy. You're going to have a frowny face, believe me. So I don't really know what my point is with all of this. What's going on? Hopefully that's not a lurker. Indeed it is. Yeah, not a lurker loves Chewy. Of course, he's a pet lover. Yeah, I ordered from Chewy too, but then you started making our own pet food and different stuff. But the point is, guys, look at this chart and then look at where it's come. I mean, NASDAQ was just, 1,300 in 2009 and then 4,200. And if you look at it a little more recently, you actually have some pretty stubborn support and pivot here at like 15.5. See, it was resistance back here in 2021. You have this big loop back down to 10,000, squeaks back up over 15, comes back down for its first test here in April 2024. So the market is, sort of feeling its oats, and then it gets sort of this Nessie Loch Ness monster pattern or sort of John Denver Mountain High pattern going, comes back up all the way, and the market sort of works funny, like it likes to retest, it likes to triple tap. That's why I think it could keep moving up, because you already saw the 3 tests of 15. The market moves to 18.5. Of course, I'm a caveman charting idiot. I don't know anything, so take this all with a big old shaker of salt. By the way, they do call me Danny Shakes. And if you have to ask why, you're officially entitled to a refund. What's up? The great Richard Vaughn getting juniors here. Go slow, turn left. Tires is going fast, but your car's going slow. That's the point of drifting. You want basically your tires to be going, 100 miles an hour, your car to be going like 3 miles an hour, but going sideways or something. I really don't get it. I think it's a whole gimmick by the tire people. People like Richard Vaughn getting Jr., just Pied Piper, leading down the path to a new set of Michelins. Oh, yeah, this is going to cost you about $1,800. You want the certificates? That way you get a flat, you get anything, you get your rotation, you get your certificates. These are going to cost you now about $80 a tire on these certificates, and we're making them available. Oh, we're making them available. Get you them certificates. Getting a fucking set of tires is turned into you need a goddamn third mortgage. I was going to say second mortgage, but in my case, it would be a third. Do you offer a third? No, we don't offer a third, sir. By the way, you're fat. I'm like, yeah, totally unnecessary. Just piling on now. But again, another test, guys. So just test a call. There's a company called Test a Call, TESTACALL, like down this, I see it on my commute. It's just, I don't know if somebody just had a sense of humor. They just like didn't realize. But okay, it dips back under 15,000 again. Just, this is in March, guys, of this year. So, the NASDAQ is added. Just think about that. The NASDAQ, just think about it. The NASDAQ's added, what, 50%? I mean, in the last, 6 months, could that be right? I don't think that could be right, but it looks right. Definitely looks right. That's a run, guys. That's a run by any measure, any time, any standard. .com, AI, coal power, jet revolution, Jetsons times, Spacely Sprockets, Rosie the Maid, Rosie the Riveter. I don't care. Rosie Palmer, Five Sisters, if you know what I mean. Oh, Neo is just looks like a juggernaut to me. I mean, I think this swap, it's just not quite there yet. The swap partners and stuff, but it's going to come. I mean, they're just doing an exceptional job. You can't even get one of those ES8s for a year. Now everybody wants an Envo L90. It's like the baby ES8. You know what I mean, Ahmed? Know what I mean? All right. Yeah, it went Neo. It was so weird because, like, okay, SoFi kind of Neo really recovered, but it fell like 15%, including after hours. So it was really, a lot to recover. The further it falls, the further it compresses the spring, et cetera, et cetera. Now, CRISPR went completely the other way. CRISPR had really good data on their in vivo. Now, granted, it was in like rats and mice, so it wasn't anything too crazy, but they really got hammered again today. I don't really, and it wasn't on the right volume. I mean, this is just looks just like that kind of see this pivot right here at right at this level, basically. It was trying like hell to break through that in July. Tried, 3 days, rejected, 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 came all the way back down into the channel, all the way back down, I think below 50 or right at 50 anyway. And then came back down trying to test 50 and then made this move, step down. So this is a really critical level, whether this can fall back into the channel or whether it's going to recover. Because this was the move. It struggled to stay above 4 days, tried to go up, and then boom, back down. Now, people ask, how does this happen? How does this price action make any sense on a day like this? You have to remember they're shorting, I think, 23% of the float on CRISPR. And to me, it's just a suicidal short because this company, every time they put out data, it's a bigger buyout candidate. Pharma companies see the writing on the wall. This what they're doing now, editing in vivo. They have a whole tool set for this. And Grant, just read it yourself. They present new data. CTX 460 demonstrates in vivo gene correction, alpha 1 antis. I don't even know AATD. I don't honestly know what that disease is. I read this the other day, and I in and out, in one ear, out the other. Nothing in there to catch it. No filter in there, many of you would call a brain. No, but anyway, the data just looks incredible. And they have this, platform to do this on other things as well. Namish Patel could tell you. He's the chief medical officer over at CRISPR. The preclinical results demonstrate the potential of CTX 440 developed using our novel synthase editing platform. That's what I'm talking about. To correct the mutation with precision and efficiency. They're looking to get this basically into trials in mid 2026. And what do you think happens when that data comes back? And they're editing genes with precision and efficiency and curing diseases inside the body. Now, I know other people are arguing, other people are further ahead in vivo, but do they have a solid enough balance sheet? Do people want to partner with them? Do people believe they can get to the finish line? Because when you start these clinical trials, you're looking at probably like 8 to 10 years, best case scenario, to get FDA approval. Now, maybe if you fast track it, it could be 5 or 6. And the world is evolving rapidly because, this administration does things differently. So their FDA, could definitely, they can do whatever they want. I mean, they can go faster, but you have to do the trials. And the trials take years each. So, honestly, you're looking at a long time. But pharma companies have very, very long time horizons, and they make money off these drugs for decades. Particularly therapies like this that can keep being refined and keep being improved, but they're basically, treating disease once and eliminating it permanently. safely, efficiently, etc. So anyway, I don't understand why the big drop today on good news. But I was buying. I wasn't buying the dip today. Correction, I've actually added to a couple of my leaps, but I already have enough CRISPR. I already have a lot of CRISPR, but I just think the stock is worth more than this. It's just my opinion. But got absolutely hammered today. So 10x, I have no idea what happened. Don't really care. Now it's still sitting right under 750. So 741 made that big move up, and then it's kind of been sucking back down a little bit. Iova, no idea what happened. It's like it was up 4 cents. A couple more pennies after hours, moderate volume. Really nothing. No new news there whatsoever. As far as Neo, yeah, this candle's kind of interesting because it's obviously completely engulfed by this candle was just extreme. Um, I don't know. The shorts were going for some kind of knockout blow. I don't really get it because I think they know retail is going to come back at this stock and buy this dip. Now, is there anything extremely important about this level? Closing over 7 or these? I don't know. Not particularly. This is a story that hasn't been told yet. Neo is just at the precipice of greatness. And I think by the time everybody realizes how big and how important this company is going to be, the stock price might have ran away from them a little bit. They might have gone, oh, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, if you look at how Tesla and some of these companies are being paid for like what they're going to do in the future, the full self-driving, the Optimus robots, there's certainly their valuations aren't based on like vehicle margins and sales. I mean, and I know Tesla did quite well in terms of the last delivery numbers and stuff, which is great. I mean, I think wider EV adoption. I mean, Tesla's really the only fighting chance we have. Is heard the guy from Ford, Farley, I think is his name. He said, American CEOs go over and visit China and look at the Chinese factories. They just come home terrified. It's like you have an 800-meter runway and there's robots come out of the floor and build a truck. And when it gets to the end, you have a truck and there's literally not one person has touched it. That's the level of robotics and automation, that's being employed in factories in China. So he's like, if we don't get on it, we're not even going to exist. And Neo, I think, is that if you look at their factories, they're very much geared in that direction. There's very few people necessary. It's very, very advanced stuff. I think Neo is one of the most advanced technologically, car companies in the world. And they built themselves that way. They built themselves, capital light, different structures, the ownership structure, their factories, all this stuff. People, know more about that than I do. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Chatty Cathy, but I pull the string myself. I wish I was Del Griffith. I have a feeling I've said this from I think both of those stocks are setups. If I had bigger balls, I would buy a ton of prop because I really think somebody's going to push that stock up. Now, whether it's going to be on merits and fundamentals or just on a pump and on a trade, I don't know. But somebody's pushing that stock down like their life depends on it. Like they're trying to drown their stepmother or something. Or I meant mother-in-law, not stepmother. But bad joke either way. Yeah, Iowa, I think, is another just huge buyout candidate. I mean, they have a pipeline that is really has unlimited potential. Now, it could be worth zero, of course. It could just amount to nothing. Just shrivel up like a raisin in the sun. Think I got the vapors. Anyway, guys, enough of like my medieval medical problems. Sorry about my shiny forehead, but that visor is really annoying. Oh, got one of the shiniest foreheads in all of YouTube. I'm not saying something. A lot of these stock guys are bald. You ever notice that? That Marine guy, I love that guy, Joseph Hogue. Who else we got? Who is this? Not a lurker. Good idea. Hydration. So I don't think you can make that much of these charts because the stock just drops 15% in one day for really no particular reason on purpose. It's just like I said, if you look at these two flags, very, very orderly, very neat. You can just see exactly what this chart is trying to do. I still think it's trying to do the same thing, but just kicking and screaming. Like an 80s movie where you switch places with your, boss at work or your golden retriever, and you're like, "Roar, roar, 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 that's my homework." Roar, roar. Starring Fred Savage and Judd Hirsch. With Danny DeVito, Dabney Coleman, Shelley Long. Just throw in like a weird smattering of 80s stars. All right. I kind of forgot I was doing a show. Pretty sleepy. I've been really working hard on my taxes. Oh, you guys pay taxes? It's the worst. Just give away all your money. Hey, I've been saving up this money all year. Well, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good to see you. Bye-bye. Thanks for sitting in my bank account and keeping it warm for a little while. Bye-bye. Ah, we're alone again. Just these four walls. Toss a nickel in the air. Hits you right in the eye. Bounces off your eye and hits you in the wiener. We've all been there. It's like a game of testicular Tetris, if you know what I mean. Like Pachenko. But instead, the BBs hit you right in the nuts. You guys ever play Pachenko? It just seemed like no point to that game. You just hit it a bunch of times. Balls go everywhere. Kids love that. It just makes a lot of noise. Oh, let's get the stock expert Danny Deals down here. Look at what do you guys want me to sell cars? I've sold a car or two. I've sold a couple dozen cars in my day. No, I've sold quite a few. Best you can do is 50% of face value. Wait, what are we selling anyway? Face value. Face. Are you selling tickets? Are you guys lamping? You guys boosting? You guys cropping? You guys doing? Low Country Luton Pawn watching from London. Excellent. Welcome and hello. Well, welcome and hello, Governor. Oh, the old bubbling squeak. The old how's your mum? Say hello to the missus. Regards to Big Ben. If you meet Big Ben, he's a bartender. Don't know why they call him Big Ben, asking for a friend. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I've been doing spreadsheets, and my brain is not a spreadsheet compatible brain. Let me just say, Excel is not compatible with Danny Brain. Okay, what compatibility with me is like carnitas tacos, laying by the pool, falling asleep, recliners. Those are compatible with me. Spreadsheets and a lot of deadlines and a lot of yappity yap. Don't talk back. Don't talk back. I just don't like tax time. It's got to do a bunch of work, and then that work is to give away your money. It just seems like somebody else should be doing the work. I was told there would be no math, but like taxes are all math. And if you're fat and dumb and old, slow of wit, generous of teat, slow of wit, large of tit. I told the IRS, can I deduct these man boobs? They're like, no, sir. But we'd recommend you go on a diet. Fuckers. Anyway. So I don't really know what I was talking about with this whole video, but Neo's going back. Neo wanted to go through 8. Sofi wanted to go through 30. CRISPR really wanted to go through 80, it looked like. There were plenty of buyers in these stocks, but you really can't fight the market. I mean, once it goes, it goes. When I say be selective, I mean, people like, oh, Robinhood is overvalued, so you better sell fintechs. Like, look at the relative valuation, the numbers between like a stock like Sofi and Robin, even though people are saying, well, Sofi has gone way up. It does not get the multiples for the growth because its EPS ramp is just about to start. They like earnings. That's why I say with this .com bust, I mean, some of these companies like Google, Micro, they didn't get paid. Look, when their prices started to go up, it's when their earnings started to ramp. It's when people started getting paid back. That's what people want to see. SoFi is going to be a free cash flow monster, but it's not there yet. As soon as it's there, it's going to get that run, that Robin Hood like run. So maybe a mini, not a Palantir run, but maybe like half a CrowdStrike, like a one testicle CrowdStrike run, something in that vein. Oh, I don't know why saying something in that vein while talking about testicles is funny to me. Perhaps because I'm a big idiot. But yeah, I don't know. Does anybody know why CRISPR dropped so much? Chinese are indeed very lucky. Excellent food. Very, very friendly, very smart. I mean, bottom line, what's happening is China is just training up millions of bright, hardworking engineers in their system, and they're just dominating this technological transformation. It's going to be flying cars, electric cars, battery standards, swap, but a million other things. But really, as Elon knows, and Elon has preached, it's the machine that builds the machine. And that's why you should read these comments by the Ford CEO. What he saw, he toured a bunch of their factories. And he was just like, oh my God. This is like 100 years into our future. We're struggling to do like over-the-air updates. We're struggling to do, very basic things with cars. Things that Chinese are doing are just absolutely going to clean our cloth. There's a reason we don't want those cars here, because it's completely the end of our car industry. Nobody's going to buy a Chevy Impala when they can buy, an Envo L90 for the same money. It's like you're throwing feces versus dealing with microchips or something. I deal with microchips, you're throwing feces. It's a totally different thing. That's similar. Yeah, you just smell your fingers. It's very off-putting. Guys. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. The great Jordy Sanders has joined us, fresh off his Hall of Fame induction. Registration numbers. I mean, that would be very nice, because they were promising we were going to get to that level, 2 years ago, Jordy? I mean, this is talk about delayed gratification with these stocks. They're just teasing me. Teasing my man boobs. Anyway, I have no idea what this video was really supposed to be about. It was just like, what is going to happen? I think we're going to see some continuation tomorrow on some of these names, but if you look at it, some of the names just really weren't going up. Like you thought, okay, they're recovering because they're at the top of where they're going to go. And there's a huge confluence of events out there, in my opinion, that is going to come and it's really going to smack this economy. Now, it's not going to change profits necessarily at Microsoft or Google or CrowdStrike, and it's not going to change anything for the people at the top. But when you see housing default, you see, people really getting hit in their retirement, they're going to pull back on spending. It's going to affect all of these sectors, fintech, AI. These companies are going to have to pull back. They're going to have to cut workers. I mean, I don't think the days of paying one AI researcher $500 million are here forever. The Chinese can give you 1,000 engineers for that price, 100,000 engineers. I feel like we have these sort of this pie in the sky deal. We're competing on AI. We're so far ahead on full self-driving. I think we're just kidding ourselves. I think the Chinese you're not going to compete with them on cars. I mean, even these European EVs, they're clunky. They're funky and they're clunky. It's like they took their gas vehicle and made it into a weird shape and put a battery on it and said, okay, here's our EV. It's totally new, groundbreaking, or like windbreaking. You know what I mean? Anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Definitely don't like and subscribe. It's a total value trap. It could drop back down premium of the option. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Going, I think this earnings is going to be really good. Huge member ads, more EPS. I like SoFi to actually go up to 30, this week. Earnings on Tuesday, guys. Tuesday. It's 1 week from tomorrow. It's a taco trade, guys. I mean, I don't get it. I was like, what is the strategy of saying, okay, I'm putting 100% tariff on China, and then the next day saying, don't worry about China? How can you not worry about 100% tariff? It's going to crash the market. But I think, could Trump just be killing options? Could he just literally be killing options? You're like, oh, that's crazy. Is it? It's not the first time they've come out with some just completely unnecessary, superfluous, devastating announcement on a Friday. I remember several because I've owned some of those calls on those Fridays. I'm taking a, swift baseball bat right to the nutsack. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, not a lurker. SoFi in 2 weeks. You're right. I got ahead of myself. It's only the 13th. That's why I'm doing taxes. It's the 15th. I like to do my taxes the very last minute and then panic, try to find the money, start working the streets. Not that kind of thing. Just do an Uber side hustle. Uber Eats. Problem is when I'm running Uber Eats, I always eat like half the food. People often leave me 1 star. Jovial fat guy was hilarious, but he ate like half my sandwich. Hey, come on, I left you 3/4. Like, get that Jersey Mike's. You guys go to Jersey Mike's, get like that 18-inch sub. Like another fat guy move. I have to pretend I'm like getting that for 2 people. Just clearly know I'm not. Want that Mike's way, sir? Yeah, Mike's way. I guess we all like Mike's way. You're here alone, sir. Yeah, well, you have a point. Touche. I meant the royal we. Anyway, you guys like Mike's way? It's pretty good. I get that extra cherry relish. Burns my sphincter on the way out. It's the thrill. That's the thrill. That sphincter on fire. Call that sandwich. That one's not on the menu. That's the number 21. You got to ask for it. Call it the Danny. Just triple the cherry relish. Oh, the bond market. Oh, yeah. No, I love the bond market. Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely, that's the historical thing. Runs up a little before, crashes out, or runs up a little, then crashes. But that's going to come to an end because this EPS ramp is going to be for real, in my opinion. I mean, they gave you the projections 2025. So we've got to start seeing that move this quarter if we're going to get there. It's not going to happen all at once. This stuff happens gradually to this type of company. It's not like they're going to like strike oil. I mean, we're talking, selling, repetitive services here. It's how many? Stack them high, sell them cheap, kick them in the nuts, send them home with no sapa. That's our business model. Discord, as I smell money, please post whispering puppy. I don't know. I don't know how to do Discord, guys. I got Discord for everybody. You can Discord these nuts, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you do. Anyway, guys, there was no point to this entire video. I don't know if things are going to go up or down tomorrow. Personally, I'm starting trimming some stuff. I'm not trimming SoFi because this is my forever stock. It's my Rushmore. I love it. I love the business model. I love the growth. But some other things I'm starting to trim. I have already told you I had been trimming Tesla. I've been trimming some Microsoft. I'm not trimming Google. I like Google too much right now. I trimmed a little bit of Amazon today. I'm just like trying to right now. I usually stay fully invested, but just something tells me right now to just go to some cash. The market behaves. It doesn't just pull back to, it doesn't say, okay, Palantir is worth, we think Palantir is worth 140. It's now 190. It should pull back to 140. What happens is it pulls back to 100 or it pulls back to 80. It just goes, and then it just skyrockets back up to 250. Look at the price action like a Tesla or any of these. These marches like they're doing, they just keep going up and up and up. Palantir, Hood, this is very unusual. Usually you see far more significant resets, pullbacks, brushbacks, knockdowns, high and tight. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? It's no fun to throw at a batter anymore because they have those like big helmet, like chin guards. Not going to get in there. Get like a bubble head, like a Steve Tasker style bubble head. Double helmet. Anyway, guys, I don't know what the hell this is. 1,000 points of light, Billy Jack. You're number 1 through 10 for me, big guy. Tell you that much right now. Tex Arcana, 1,000 points of light. You go down to Billy Jack's house. He'll leave the light on for you. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? This episode was terrible, Ryan. Believe me, this episode is a big steaming pile of shit. Just like this channel. I don't really see the point to all of it. But I appreciate you guys watching. Support becomes resistance, and resistance becomes support. The dark becomes the light. Luke becomes, I don't know. Is that one guy's name? Jar Jar Binks? I don't know what happens. Natalie Portman's there. It's all weird. I don't get it. I don't get anything new with Star Wars. First 3, that's it. Like, I like sequels, but only sequels that were made when I was a kid. And that's getting few and far between. Got any sequels about a fat kid? Gonna do Goonies 2? I like starring in Goonies 2. They probably already did a Goonies 2. Chubb. Anyway. Dude ass face. I'm always trimming through the old covered calls just to be prudent. Roll until you're right. Prudent and patient. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Like, and don't be afraid to hold some cash. Like, if you're smelling a big pullback, be smart. Like, I'm not saying sell all your stocks and just put everything under your mattress, but don't be afraid to hold, 30 or 40% of your portfolio in cash. There's nothing wrong with doing that, even 50%. If you really think the market's too hot. Now the market starts running again, you're going to go, oh my God, I missed it. Try not to chase. Your instincts are probably right. They're all the market is going to pull back, but that's why I say be very selective. Pick value that's growing. I mean, I feel like Sofi has not been paid for anything they've done. Not even close here at $27. We're like, oh, the multiple's crazy going forward, 9x sales. I don't think that's crazy growing the top line like they're growing it with the margins they're going to have. With EPS, they're promising, 2026. Let's see if they get there. But I don't think the stock's overvalued. I think Hood's overvalued. But what the hell do I know? Like I said, I'm just bitter Bonnie. Bitter Bonnie with a bee in her bonnet, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Hold all your cash, Bill, Swazex. You got some exotics going there. You got all your cash. Is that one of those things where they pay you and you like hold your stuff at the mall? They give you 20% interest. Escove, T-bill. Yeah, there's plenty of good. Oh, that's what you guys are talking about. Yeah, like there's plenty of good places you can make very, very safe interest and hold your cash, like ETFs and bond funds and, END and then different ones. I don't know. I have some of them. They do this stuff for me in my bigger brokerages. They put my money to where it's going to earn the most interest whenever I have cash, the best money market or whatever it is. So I have people. I have people for that. I'm starting to really like STRC for cash out, 10 more volatility, worth a look, 10% yield pays monthly. Those things scare the hell out of me. Those 10% yield pays monthly. These are ETFs that hold treasuries. Yes, I am aware. Yeah, I have some of those. Yeah, because I when I say hold cash, guys, I don't mean hold cash at 0%. I mean, unless you're a fucking fool. Never have your money sit at 0%, guys. Never leave a bunch of money in a checking account, 0% or 0.001%. Your money should pay you. You work your ass off for it. If it's going to sit there, the bank should pay you because believe me, they're getting paid on the other end, loaning out your hard-earned money. Don't be too lazy to click and put that money into a high yield savings. SoFi is a great option. CD is a good option. One of these ETFs that holds treasuries is a great option. You can earn, like 4%. No risk, basically. So take advantage. I mean, you're like, oh, I don't have that much money. It's only 10 grand. Believe me, 10 grand today is 15 grand tomorrow, is 25 grand next year, is 100 grand for your retirement, is 250 grand, when you need it, when you're old. Don't be cavalier about this stuff, guys. It's your money. Don't give it away for free. Oh, it's just convenient. Just leave it here. Earning nothing. That's not what wealthy, successful people do. They let their money work for them at all times. Even if it's not working for them in an investment, it just can work for them, like say, in an ETF that holds, treasuries or other types of bonds. They also have, some corporate bond you pay a little bit more. They have some mixed that pay a little bit more. So you could get, 4 to 5%, very little risk. You get, 4%, like no risk. So why would you take 0? You wouldn't. Absolutely, a Carl Seamark mattress is the best place for it. Anyway, guys, tilt. It went on tilt amid. Guys, I gotta go. I'm so tired. I'm incoherent. I'm a big fat idiot. I'm man moving for fun and profit. I'm little Danny Cornbread DiCarlo. I'd like to thank the great Not a Lurker, the great J Money. Would like to thank Princess J. Would like to thank the great QT. Would like to thank the great Amid S. Like to thank the great Carl Seamark, Stockman Mark, of course, great premium the option. The man wears a fishing hat and he looks good doing it. Like to thank Not a Lurker, of course. I think we already thank Not a Lurker, do S-Face premium the option, guys. All the great John Paul, man has 2 first names. He's a hell of a boxer. No, that's Jake Paul. What about Uncle Chucky and SMCI? Yeah, SMCI is such a tough one because fundamentally, I think it's an amazing AI play, the growth, the product. They're at the right place, the right time, but can they get out of their own way? I feel like, they are their own worst enemy. And it just, what's the excuse for not hiring a CFO? It's been a year since they had these problems. It's been like 10 months since they got the recommendations from the special committee, for God's sake. But in one lady, she was the entire special committee. I think the innovation, the growth, the positioning worldwide, I think AI is only going to accelerate for years to come. I think SMCI is incredibly well positioned. I want a CFO announcement by the next ER. I want compliance. I want lawyers. I want this thing on lockdown so you can't make a mistake. Because how can you keep investing in this thing? They just dropped we don't have any confidence in anything. What, like a month ago? And that just slipped away. Like, why? Why can't you have confidence in the financials at this point? Is it the Wigger? Is the Wigger wigging out? He sold all his shares. The fuck does he care? Thought when he sold his shares, he's on his way out the door. The guy seems to be the puppet master, the key master of Gozar or something. Anyway, I have no idea. Long story short, I have no idea. Prudent and patient. I hate you guys. Not only have a tiny winged audience, but I have an ugly audience. You guys have a great night. Peace.